Hey everyone, I am Maxte. Welcome back to 15 more EVE Online noob mistakes and how to avoid them. This is part 2. If you have missed the first part, you can find it on the top right link on your screen, or you can find it in the description. Well, the YouTube algorithm should pop it up for you anyway. Again, this is not to make fun of new players. We have all been a new player at a point. This is a quest to learn something and not to do the same. I will try to follow the logic for those mistakes, I will try to explain why that happened, and I will try to use first person for that. Well, I have experienced a good number of these mistakes myself, so that should be easy. Let's kick it again in no particular order except the last one. The last one is really special for me as it is one of the most costly mistakes I have done in EVE Online. And the first one is combining modules that actually cancel each other. What we have here is a bestower, which is a standard small freighter. Alright, because it's a freighter, we would like to improve the cargo capacity, and for that we will put an expanded cargo hold. What this module is doing, it's expanding the cargo hold capacity, and at the same time we have a penalty on velocity, right? Because we have a penalty on velocity, we can try to put something to increase the velocity, in this case an overdry injector system 1, which is indeed increasing the velocity, but actually it has a penalty, gives us a penalty on cargo capacity bonus. So these two modules actually cancel each other. Whatever one module is doing to benefit the ship, the other module actually cancel it. So it's no point to fit both of these at the same time. Here it is another example. We have the nanofiber internal structure, which is improving our inertia and our velocity, right? But it gives us a penalty regarding the structure hit point bonus. To work on that, we have the steel plates. I just pick up the 100mm ones, but any kind of steel plates, which in turn add to the structure hit points, so it's improving the structure hit points, but it adding a significant mass, which actually have repercussions on speed and agility. So again, these two modules actually cancel each other, so there is no point to fit two of these together. Alright, until now we have seen like drastic cancellations, right, in these two examples, but at the same time there are many other examples of partial cancellations. Let's try this one with a shield booster, and we will put a small C5L compact shield booster, right? In here, right, we do get a shield bonus, right? But at the same time it will consume our capacitor. So let's put something to improve our capacitor performance. In this case, let's try this thing, which is capacitor power relay, and let's put it in here. Alright, in this case, let's see, yes, the capacitor got a 20% bonus, but we have a penalty on our shield boost bonus. So it's no good to fit these two modules together, because this module has a major impact on our shield boost bonus. Alright, as a side discussion, never fit a shield booster on a bestower. A bestower, it's an armor based ship, not a shield based ship. Alright, another thing that is very important in here, let's unfit this because it was just for example. As you can see, we don't get any kind of warning, any kind of notification in here that actually these modules are not working well together. Alright, what we can do in a situation like this? First of all, have a look on the drawbacks of each module, and if that drawback is significant, consider not to put that specific module or put something else. Also, it's very important to make a decision, to be ready to make a decision. So in this case, what is the most important thing? Is to expand our cargo hold, or it is to expand our velocity? We need to make a decision between these two options. Also in here, which one is the most important? Increase speed or increase the hit points? All right, and with that we can make a better decision, and we can avoid to combine modules that actually cancel each other. Alright, and next we have stuck fitting modules that drastically affect ship performance. So what we have here, it's a Gila, right? And on our Gila we have fit some modules that normally appear on a Gila. So we have a 50 mN microwave drive, we have some shield extenders, let's say, we have inertial stabilizers, and we have some shield rigs. Alright, what is wrong with this design? The part that is wrong is that each of these modules add to our ship signature. So our ship signature will become larger and larger. That means our ship is going to be easier to hit, and the damage that the ship is receiving with each hit is going to be larger and larger, to the point that actually the bonuses given by our shields are actually annihilated, are actually cancelled by our increased ship signature, right? To evaluate the impact of this, let's put this module offline, right? And we can see that we have already a very significant improvement. The same goes with the other modules. Okay, let's put it back in here. Right, and this as well to evaluate again. The same thing goes with other very important ship attributes, like for example, like the speed. We can stack fitting modules that reduce the speed, right, to the point that our ship is harder, next to impossible to operate. Hauling contraband items. Well, not hauling contraband items, it's a noob mistake on itself, but hauling contraband items and not knowing exactly the repercussions. Alrighty, so as we travel through high security space, and only high security space, especially when passing through stargates or stations, NPC customs officers may scan our ship. This scan happens automatically, we have no direct control over it. If we are carrying contraband items, and I will put all of them, the complete list on the screen, right? And please find the same information in the description. So if any contraband item is detected, the following can occur. First of all, fines. If we are found with a contraband, the custom officer will issue a fine proportional to the value of the illegal goods in our cargo hold. Alright, we are going to be presented with an option to pay the fine immediately. Failing to pay could escalate the situation. Secondly, we may face a cargo confiscation. In addition to the fine, the contraband items will often be confiscated and removed from our cargo hold. If we refuse to comply, or we are caught with certain types of contraband, as for example slaves in Minmatar or illegal drugs in Amar, custom officers may attack our ship. The game mechanics for these contraband items is a little bit more complicated. Maybe a dedicated video is required for this, but the NPC ships can attack us and will attack us if we are carrying contraband items. It's very important to mention that it's not going to be the Concord which is going to attack us, but the NPC officers, which are by far slower compared with Concord, but in certain situations can still destroy our ship. In addition to that, in some cases, we might receive a security status penalty, right? And also in some other situations, again, it depends on quite complicated game mechanics, we can get a standing loss with that particular faction if we are caught. Transporting contraband in EVE Online is risky, but also it can be profitable. Again, if we are caught, we need to expect like fines, cargo loss, possibly aggression from the customs official. We can dodge on that by planning our routes carefully, not to include too much of the high sec, right? By using fast ships with fast align time, or cloaked ship, or there are some other means to hide actually the contraband items right into our cargo hold. It's important to know the local laws and the space we are operating in order to avoid this kind of unpleasant surprises. Alright, next we have going into a wormhole space and closing the wormhole behind us. So what we have here, it's a wormhole, and we want to know is this wormhole going to last enough time for us to return back to high space, or is just going to collapse and leaving us into the unknown. For that we need to get closer to the wormhole and click on show info, and we have this information here. It's an unstable wormhole. This information from here also, it's quite important. This wormhole seems to lead into unknown parts of the space. This unknown from here means this wormhole is going to lead to a C1, C2 or C3 types of wormholes. Another message is this wormhole is beginning to decay and probably won't last another day. This is actually a good sign that the wormhole is healthy enough. We should be looking for a message like this wormhole is reaching the end of its natural lifetime, which means the wormhole will last less than 4 hours. So we will have less than 4 hours to jump back in, but we will not know if that is 4 hours or actually it's 4 minutes, because 4 minutes is less than 4 hours, right? Another message here, which is quite important. This wormhole has not yet had its stability significantly disrupted by ship passing through it. We should be looking for a message like this wormhole has had its stability critically disrupted by the mass of numerous ships passing through it, and it's on the verge of collapse. That means the wormhole will allow only less than 10% of the original mass of ships to go through it, right? So this wormhole looks good from this point of view as well. All right. Larger ships may pass through this wormhole, which means medium and small ships can pass as well. So all of this information are quite important before jumping. If one of these attributes is not right, so the wormhole will collapse in less than 4 hours, or the mass is critically low, less than 10%, it's a good idea to consider whether to jump in or not to jump through it. Transporting high-value cargo unprotected. Is it incredible how much value can be concentrated even in 10 cubic meters of cargo? Alright, so there are so many people trying to transport really high valuable items, right, in very small ships like this corvette, right, or even some other ships that offer absolutely no protection. The reason behind that is Come on, who is going to scan this very small ship? Well, guess what? There are people who know exactly that kind of behavior, and they are specialized in scanning exactly that kind of ships. So one ganker can have his buddies waiting, providing the information, and just conveniently waiting for you somewhere to dock in a station and or to jump at the gate, and all of that value is going to be lost for you. So what to do? Never hold really high value or important high value cargo in unprotected ships. Alright, this one is a funny one, showing the full power of noobiness. It's putting weapons off or modules off in station and willing to activate it in space. So we have like a normal venture. Actually it's an oversimplified venture, and we are docked in a station and we want to play with this to see how the capacitor will react. Well, now it's stable. Now it's even stable and even more stable, right? Don't worry about this, because we will activate them while in space, right? Because we have access to the fitting window. Let's try to do that. So we undock here. And we will put our modules back online, right? Because we need them. Let's try with this one. Okay, it did work. As you can see, it did take a good chunk of our capacitor. Let's put our minor modules because we need that. Well, what it says here, we cannot do this because we need 95%. 95% capacitor level, we are only at 64%. So we cannot activate this immediately, and if this is a weapon module and we are in a combat situation, this is not good. This is really bad.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Buying ships or modules that we actually have no skills for. Alright, we have seen that module that do a lot of good things. We wanted really bad, because we have seen on YouTube or somewhere that it's very good. All right, so let's try to get it, right? So for the sake of the argument, let's say it's a minor 2. Of course, it can be any kind of other module. All right, the price, it's within our range. The price, we can afford this price. We can buy it right now. Alright, we can buy it, but the problem is we cannot use it as we speak. It's always very important to check on this square in here. This half white, half black shows that we actually have some skills trained into that direction, but not the full skill. Let's click on it, and the game will show us what exactly do we need to train more. So we will need to train mining 4, and it's going to take 1 day and 17 hours to accomplish that, and after that we can use our module. Of course, in this case the training time is within our range. It's perfectly okay to buy this miner 2, and after that to put this for training, and in 1 day or 2 we will have this miner 2 ready to be used. Alright, let's give another example. Let's say we want to buy a ship, and we want to buy an assault frigate, which is retribution, right, for Amar. Okay, let's say we already have these 44 millions, we want it, it's a good ship. Yes, it is a good ship. Well, there is a problem. We do not possess all the required skills to command this ship. Let's click on it, and on this case, situation is quite different. We will need 1 month and 14 days to train as an alpha account, and 22 days to train as an omega account. Not only that, but some of these skills require omega account. So we need to be Omega in order to be able to train this, and even with an Omega account it will still take 22 days, which is quite a long time to wait, right? So it's very important to buy modules and ships that are within our range and we can actually use them. Shooting people's assets in high sec and triggering Concord, shooting certain types of player-owned structures like Asbels, like refineries, Tartara, or like engineering complexes like Raitaros will trigger criminal flag, and that will trigger Concord as well in high sec. Oddly enough, or counterintuitive, by shooting like wrecks or mobile depots or mobile tractor units, that will only result in a yellow flag, in a suspect flag for 15 minutes. Well, with a yellow suspect flag, anyone can freely attack you with no repercussions. So it's very important to know these details before engaging in such activities. Alright, next we have shooting Autothysian Lancers, but not realizing that they are actually really strong. So let's imagine a player coming with his venture from a mining operation and killing some NPCs with the venture drones, and after that finding these Autothysian Lancers at the gate. Well, they can try to kill these Lancers as well, but these Lancers are a total different dish. So these guys are really strong, and they are operating in a different way. So unless you know what you are doing, it's very important not to engage them. Well, the good thing is, normally if you don't engage them, they will not engage you. If you do engage them, they will keep spawning and following you, and you need to sacrifice like a ship. You need to go, for example, in a very low non-value ship at a point, come up, let them kill you, and after that the things will sort it out. Having no skills in training. On many occasions, new players do not realize that actually the training continues even if they are not online. So it's very important, in order to progress faster, it's very important to have the skill training full all the time. In order for that, you need to go here in skills and drag and drop skills as you want to train. For an alpha account, there is a limit of 24 hours in which you can plan skills. So you can very well put like longer time skills to train, like 1 day and 17 hours, and alternate that with shorter term trainings, in order to maximize and in order to have the queue full, even if that restriction of 24 hours is in place. For Omega accounts, well, I can see here a limit of 150. I never put 150 skills in this queue, even as an Omega. Not doing the first 5 career agent missions. So at the start of your capsule year saga, it's very important to actually attain and complete all of these 5 training agents. For you, the names over here might be different, but the categories like Explorer, Soldier of Fortune, Industrialist, and so on should be the same. Why it's very important? Because this will give you ships, will give you ISK, and more important than that, will give you a basic understanding of some of the main areas of EVE Online. So doing this will prevent people from asking in the chats, how do I travel with my ship, and so some other questions like that. Being able to buy and fly a ship do not mean being able to operate it. Alright, then what do I mean by that? Let's say we want our new Gila, right? It's right here. We go on the market and we do have the price tag over 200 millions. We can buy it, right? First of all, we need to train some skills in order to operate it. It's going to take us 4 days as an alpha and 2 days as an omega. Let's say we have trained that as well. 4 days is not too much. And as you can see, Gila is alpha friendly as well. All right, we have seen on YouTube or somewhere that people doing missions in Gila and making tons of ISK. Well, that is absolutely doable, but in the moment you buy your new Gila, you will not be able to obtain the same performances, for the simple fact that you do not have the necessary modules and extensions in order to be able to successfully operate this. You will need skills for high sec slots, for example, for missile launchers. You will need skills for your shields, otherwise your shield's performance is not going to be the same as those guys' shield's performance. And also for drones, because Gila is a drone-based ship. If you do not have skills for medium drones, your Gila will never obtain that amount of offense as the guys on YouTube. Not to mention that those guys, in order to boost their views, they often use boosters, and they often use implants in order to maximize their stats. And also you can check on the price tag of those ships. Often some of those videos are done on the testing server, so they have put all the implants, very costly implants, which are not actually a good choice in order to obtain incredibly high stats in here. So what I would recommend whenever you upgrade to a new ship, be cautious, do not put it into full stress until you are absolutely sure that the ship is actually capable of doing those missions, right? I mean level 4 missions or abyssal missions, right? Start smaller, be sure your ship it's performing. Be sure you are continuing improving on your module stats, on your module performances, right? And after that, gradually, slowly progress to more difficult missions. That's very important. There are so many new players' ships lost because players just push it up front with not enough skills and not enough ship attributes.
Always must we strive to show them our worth, for we are...
Not using shortcuts. EVE Online can be a very fast-paced game at a point, and decisions has to be done in a split of the second, and in that direction using shortcuts can actually help a lot. So luckily EVE Online has a lot of very useful shortcuts that can be used in all kind of situations. It's very important to have a look over these things, and you will see that your gameplay will improve significantly. Alright, more than that, EVE Online offer the possibility to actually edit or any of these shortcuts. That means to assign any kind of shortcut that you want for a specific action. Have a look over this and customize this in order to suit you the best. Buying implants before training the skill. On many occasions while fitting a ship, we will have let's say we will still need a little bit more CPU, or we will still need a little bit more of capacitor. In order to solve that, it's very easy to go and buy an implant. Any kind of 3% more or 5% more, it can make actually a very important difference. But the thing is, it's better actually to train first that specific skills, or be sure that that specific skills are already trained. Let's say you want more CPU for your ship. It's better to train this CPU management first to have 5% more bonus, even if it takes almost 10 days. And the reason for that is because those implants or those boosters are you are going to lose it when you lose your pod, when your pod is destroyed. But these skills will still be with you like for all of your EVE Online career. So it's a natural progression and a very important one. Train your skills first, like CPU management, to maximize everything here related to CPU. And after that, if you still need CPU, yes, you can look into implants. And alright guys, it's time for the worst and the most costly mistake that I have made in EVE Online. It's about the wrong price market order. So it was in the very day that a very new interface, which now is called as a Fusion, was launched. Well, in the meantime there have been some updates. So normally when I went on the market, everything, all these windows was nicely arranged. But in that particular day when I log in, because of the new interface launch, everything was not actually in place. Everything was just over there, but not the way I was wanted. So what I wanted was to put something for sale. This window from here, it was by far shorter, so I had to put like 5 pieces for sale, and everything was like 23 millions. Right? I already typed in 23 millions, but because of the new interface I was shown only 23,000, not millions. And I was like, okay, but I did type in 23 millions, what the hell. So I put another 3 zeros, 3, and I just click sell, confirm yes, because I do all of this really quickly, automatically. That land me with a ridiculous broker fee plus sales tax in the area of 6.5 billions. Well, the numbers were a little bit different here because these taxes were a little bit different for me. So I just watched. I was petrified to watch all, because that 6.5 millions was almost everything that I had at that moment. So I was petrified to see all of my money just going down and disappearing. I was thinking, okay, this time I really did it, didn't I? Alrighty then, what to do? So just to put you in a little bit of context, it was exactly the time when CCP decided to go up with the subscription price, and everyone was really unhappy about that. There were a lot of discussions about EVE Online is dying, EVE Online is gone, and so on. And it was me trying to recover this 6.5 billions that I have lost by such a silly mistake. It's worthless. It's important to say that's the silliest is the mistake, the biggest is the regret after that. So I tried to contact different people from CCP to try to do something about that. Initially I was rejected, I was trying again, and eventually there was a guy within the CCP who actually has returned me like 4.5 billions. It was, if I'm not mistaken, the sales tax which was returned, but not the broker fee, which was another roughly 1.5 billion. I was kind of happy with that deal. Well, even if I didn't recover everything that I lost. I was kind of happy to recover that 0.45 billion, and that allows me to continue and still to play the game today, because otherwise losing everything, well, it would have been the best idea would have been just to quit EVE Online, you know. Okay, so what is to be learned out of this? Always put this, like, to be sure that you can see the full amount, right? And always have this information all the time. So you need to have these windows nicely arranged, something in the area like this, right? And this window should show you the price, and you need to see the prices at any moment and compare with this price. In this case, you will not make mistakes. If your window is like this and you cannot see all the figures, yes, you can still make mistakes. All right, then I will cancel this until it's not too late. Right, that was the most costly mistake, partly resolved, and thank you again to that. I'm not going to name that guy from CCP that did that for me, but thank you again for your intervention. It was absolutely amazing that after all that tries, finally someone has decided, I don't know, from my point of view, to make justice. Okay, guys, thank you so much for reaching this point. If you have any questions, any comments, I would be more than happy to hear about your experience and what you have encountered. So please let me know your experience in the comments, and let's try to avoid this and not to make the same mistakes again. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next vid.
Warp drive active.
All of our tutorials are meant to be seen in sequence. Be sure you have checked on that. Before we go, please give us a thumbs up, it's free. Grow with the channel, hit that subscribe button and activate notification bell now. Share and always recommend Maxte in your social media and to your friends. Thank you for being with us. See you in the next one.